So quiet in here. I hope there's this many people at my funeral. Yeah. So God, what an unbelievable thing to think that it's been 20 years. I remember when John and I and 4 or 5 others, we sat in the lobby of the A&A Hotel, I don't even know if it's still in business, in Sydney, and talked about the first AREC, and I was amazed. I always thought there were 230 people there, and I guess I learned this morning there were 213. But it's a far cry from 4,500 this morning. So, to tell you that I'm scared would be an understatement. And I don't do this for a living. I sell houses for a living, to be really blunt. And I don't know how John suckered me into it, but I'm here. So that's the way it is. But hey, what a great convention so far, yes? You think about, I sat in the back and I listened to Scott. And I'm going to share with you some stories because I had the experience to meet Tony Robbins 35 years ago. I met him in Denver, Colorado. I did the Firewalk experience. I did his course called The Mind Revolution. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget being scared to death to walk on those coals, thinking I would never have feet again. But I tell you what a difference it made in my life. You listened to Matt this morning. What did Matt say? Matt said it's all about self-belief, process, having hustle, and discipline. And Melita, does anybody know what her why is? I felt like little Malachi. What a great story. And then how many people here are under 25 or under? Raise your hands, under 25. What an incredible thing. What an incredible thing. I worked with 22 people in my office, and quite honestly, ladies and gentlemen, it's all the people that are under 25 that are really kicking butt and making money. Because it's all the old people that don't want to change. We don't want to change. It's so easy not to change. So let me put this kind of all in perspective. And when you think about it, this convention, this conference today, really, really demonstrates the power of a vision, the power of change, the power of achievement, if you will. And over the next couple of days, we've all got some decisions to make about change, about achievement, about what you want out of life. That's really what I do this 3 times a year. That's all I do this. Because I can't afford to do this 3 times a year. I've been up since 4:12 this morning. I can answer all my phone calls back in America. You see, right now in America, it's only something like 6:39 in the evening on Saturday. So even when I finish, I can still call some people. Because that's what I do. That's what you do. So let me put it all in perspective so you kind of know where I'm coming from. I'm 64 years old. I started in the real estate business when I was 22. I've been licensed for 48 years. I went bankrupt at 28 years old. I was married at the time, had a son. My wife left me. No sense of humor. You gotta have some humor in this business. I used to smoke 5 packs a day. I attended a Catholic seminary for 3.5 years. Almost became a Catholic priest. Not a lot of difference between being a priest and a realtor, except for the money. The money makes the difference, friends. And when you're a realtor, you hear it all. I think you hear more than what a priest hears. I hear some things that I just think, oh my God, how could they tell me that? I had prostate cancer at 50. My dad died when I was 22, and my father died. They told my grandfather he died of a heart attack. I was in Istanbul, Turkey when my father died. I was in the United States military, hadn't seen him for 18 months when I got the phone call. I've got a son who's 36, lives in Minneapolis, lives about 1,500 miles from where I do. Greatest day, I probably speak to him 3 or 4 times a week. The greatest thing is to have a 36-year-old son, and when you hang up, you can say, son, I love you, and the son says back, I love you. And that's a why. I got a mom who's 91. If I don't call her every week, she disowns me after about 2 weeks. I called her up the other day. I have 5 brothers. I called her up the other day. I said, Mom, this is your second son, Robert. She says, after a pause, do I have a second son? Mothers are like that. So here's the goal so that's really the story of my life. I still sell real estate. I do my own deals. I do my own listings. I do my own sales. I've got 2 full-time assistants. I have 2 interns. And the 4 things I do is I list, sell, I delegate, and I negotiate. Those are the 4 things I do. I do nothing else. Nothing else. You got that? I live 1 block from the ocean. I've never been in it. Never been in it. I had a pool in my house for 10 years. I was never in it. I finally took it out this year. I took it out. I put it in a spa. And the other day I was helping the company, and I said, well, let's do a video, and we'll do it in the back of my house. And I fell in the damn thing with a suit on. The good news was my phone was sitting on the barbecue. So now I can say I've been in my spa. But here's the deal. In the next hour I've got to try to maybe add value, make a difference. Make a difference that you listen to me today. Make a difference maybe in your life, in your career. I've got to be living proof that you can look at me and say, if he can do it, I can do it. That's what you have to do today. That's what you've got to do for the next 2 days. My God, I took a page of notes with Matt. I took a page of notes with Melita. Dr. Robert, what did he talk about? Commitment and consistency. And that's what our business is all about, is it not? That's really, really what it is. This thing called AREC can make a difference in your life. It can make a difference in your professional career, in your personal life, if you let it. But you got to be willing to let it. The late Howard Brinton, some of you may have heard him speak. Every time he spoke to people, he told people, he said, hey, you got to move yourself from judgment into curiosity. Rather than look at me and say, well, I can do it because, he can do it because he's young, or he lives in California, or he's this, or he's that. That doesn't count. You're going to learn in the next few minutes, I ain't that smart. And I ain't that smart. But you know what I'm good at? I'm good at copying. I'm good at copying, finding the people that are doing what it is that I want to do, and I copy them. What did I learn from Tony Robbins? I don't know if Scott's still here. Success leaves clues. Ever hear that? What did he say? If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, flies like a duck, sounds like a duck, what do you think it is? It's a duck. And if you find somebody over the next few days and they're making 100 or 200 or 500 or a million, regardless of what they're making, and if they walk like this, start walking like this, You might not have the money, but you'll have the walk. That's just the way it is. So here's my commitment to you in the next 55 minutes, is to give 100%, to share with you some experiences from the last 43 years, to have some fun, to speak from the heart, to tell you the truth. Somebody asked me how long I've prepared for this. Let me tell you, I've been preparing for 43 years. I'm going to tell you some stories that you can't make up. Seriously. I'm going to try to stretch your minds just a little bit. I'm going to try to raise your success levels. Friends, I don't come from a wealthy background. I went broke at 28 years old. I had nothing, zero, zippo. I moved marketplaces 28 years ago with $7,000 in the bank. $7,000. It took me 91 days to sell a house in my new marketplace. But I stuck with it, and I stuck with it, and I stuck with it. And that first year in Southern California, in 1985, I earned $335,000 doing open houses. Do you know how much that money is 28 years ago? Just by doing open houses, and I didn't even know anybody. But open houses were easy because it didn't cost me any money. And everybody had to come see me. All I had to do was be nice to them. That's all I had to do. And I'm going to cause you also, I want to cause you, my goal is to cause you to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and be willing to change. You know what I love about young people? They do what we tell them to do. They do what we tell them to do. Young people are great. I have 2 little girls in my office. They're 26, 27 years old. They're sisters. They're, by all ostensible purposes, they are dingbats. But they make $300,000 a year. $300,000. I have a young guy in the audience right now. His name is Chad. Came with me, he was making a couple $100,000 a year. That was 2 years ago. This year, he'll probably make $800,000. And there's no secrets. You know what the secret is? I'll tell you what the secret is. He works. What a secret. What a secret. But I'm going to ask you to believe in yourself. I'm going to ask you to change. It's going to be impossible to write everything down that I say. I'm going to ask you to listen. If you want anything that I share with you, friends, anything, all you got to do is email my office 10 days from now. Number one, I'm not going to be back till June 10th. Number two, in 10 days, 50% of you will forget that you ever heard me. If you want it, just email my office, bob@bobwolff.com. Spell Wolff with 2 F's, no E. My work wife, Laura, will send you anything that we need, anything that you want, anything. I got nothing to hide. And I give it all to you. You know why I'm going to give it all to you? Because you ain't going to do nothing with it. You're not going to do a thing with it. But you email me, friends, and I will give you everything I got. I'll give you my word, everything. And John's known me for 20 years, if not longer. Can I motivate you? I can't motivate you. Can I stimulate you? Yes, I can stimulate you. I can cause you to look at me and say, man, he is nuts. I can do that. I can stimulate you, but I can't motivate you. Motivation comes from within. Remember what Melita said about the why? We're going to talk about that in a second. So in the next 50 minutes, I got to share with you some thoughts, some techniques, some strategies, some things that I do that have made a difference in my life. But one of the most important things that you've got to ask yourself is, are you willing to make the changes today that are necessary to give you the life that you want, to give you the money that you want, to give you the career that you want? You got to ask yourself, are you willing to make those changes today? Today. For things to change, you have to change. If you want the marketplace to get better, you get better. It's real simple. What did Dr. Roberts say? He said, man, he goes, you got to go first. You got to go first. Being the best begins by expecting to be the best. You've got to expect that you're going to be the best. And number two, leave nothing to chance. Nothing to chance. My office is what, 6,000, 7,000 miles away. I had a big showing on a big listing about 3-4 hours ago. I got on the phone. I called the guy at the office. I said, make sure you're there. Make sure the lights are on, the drapes are open, the doors are open. Get there 30 minutes early. Leave nothing to chance. Does that make sense? What if you didn't get there early? What if you didn't have the lights on? What if the drapes weren't open? What if the beds weren't made? What if? Leave nothing to chance. But you're going to have to ask yourself that question, is what is it? And are you willing to change? I broke down my career, my life, if you will, into 8 different segments. I'm going to spend about 6 minutes on each one. We're going to have a little fun. I'm going to show a couple little videos. But I'm just going to tell you what happens and how it happens to me. And the very first strategy that I wrote down is, and you've heard it this morning twice, you've got to have a dream. You've got to have a dream. You've got to have a goal. You've got to know, what is that why? What is the why? And it doesn't have to be, Melita's why is her son. That was clear to me, that mother would do anything for her son. Scott showed you a picture of his family. That's his family. That's his why. But you've got to know what that why is. And friends, you've got to have it, write it down. Write it down. Be specific. Give it a timeline. Give it something that's measurable. And when you start writing down these goals, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to share with you something also. You make sure they cover everything. You make sure they cover your business, your family, your physical, your religious, whatever, your health, your recreation. For some uncanny reason, I saved my original goals, and I've saved them every year, friends. And I'm going to share with you some of them. In 1977, that was 40 years ago, I had 4 goals. This is the piece of paper I wrote them on. Number 1, I wanted to make $75,000 a year. Number 2, I wanted to be able to retire in 30 years. Number 3, I wanted to buy 1 investment property. And number 4, I wanted to be the most professional realtor I possibly could be. 21 years later, 1998, these were my goals. I'll share some with you, because I would tell you, write everything down. Because it's absolutely amazing if you begin to write things down. If 3 months from now you're laying in bed, you get up in the morning, you pick up your goals, you look at things, you say, oh my God, it's happening. I'm getting this. It's real. 1998, learn to fly, learn to dance, own an airplane, be 100% debt-free, an annual trip with my son, an annual income of $750,000, reduce existing mortgages by 10%, become a very good golfer, become a very good tennis player, increase my average sales price to $400,000. Here's a sick one. I wanted a fax machine for my car. How sick is that? Some of you don't remember the days of fax machines, but we used to have what we call fax machines. And we'd put the contract in, and that contract would go faster than anything we'd ever seen. And we would stand in front of that fax machine and say, go, go, go. Would we not? How many ever did that? God, go faster. I wanted one for my car. Become a business person, attend weekly mass. Work only 4 days a week. What a joke. I've got my goals from 2007, 2013, 2015. How about 2016? They're all legal-sized pads of paper now. My point is not so much to share my goals, but to let you know that you got to write everything down. Because if you don't know what it is that you want, how are you going to know when you get it? Attend weekly mass, speak to my son every week, speak to my mom once a week, buy 2 more investment properties, weekly fly my airplane, weekly ride my motorcycle, play tennis 3 days a week. I've been playing tennis 3 days a week for 16 years. And I have never played anybody. I've been taking 16 years worth of lessons. You know why I take the lessons? Because I got a guy who makes me pay for it. And if I pay for it, I'll show up. And if I don't pay for it, I'll go to work. 16 years of lessons. He keeps saying, you want to play somebody? I go, why? Get depressed. Some little 12-year-old girl come out there and kick my ass, you know? Work out twice a week. Work only 12 hours a day. That's pretty good. Use my home in the desert at least 2 times a month during October to April. Buy all new patio furniture for my home in Rancho Mirage. Do a total remodel of my home. Save 20% of my gross income. Once a month, speak to one of my brothers. Have a long-term committed relationship with Jenny. Take 2 travel vacations. Focus on dollar productive behavior. Recite my affirmations every day. Become debt-free. Have a gross income of X dollars. You know, I mean, whatever it is, you can read a book a month. You know, 58% of all the people in the world never read a book after they get out of high school. 58%. That's a lot, my friends. So my point is, write it down. Write it down. 83% of the world is visual. Visual. Do you understand what I'm saying? They respond to pictures. I am part of that 83%. I carry this binder. In this binder is pictures of things that I want. Here's a picture of the boat I'm going to buy when I can no longer fly my airplane. Here's a picture of the second boat I might consider if I don't like the first boat. Here's a picture of the car that I want to buy. Here's another picture of the car. Here's a picture of a watch that I want, so that when I fly, if I get lost, I can push a button and say, shit, go this way. Here's a picture of a cruise I want to take. It's a crystal cruise. And underneath it, you can't see this, but it says Orient Express. Orient Express. I'm taking the Orient Express this year. But, you know, if you can see it, for me, I got to see it. These are my whys. Does that make sense? Those are my whys, and we need a why. If you don't have a why, there's no sense getting up in the morning. The second strategy. Place the bet on yourself. Of all the judgments that you ever make in life, how you feel about you is the most important. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks of you, it's what you think of you. I'll share with you something. I stole it. Most of what I've done, I've stolen. Do you understand that? Here's a story of a man. I stole it from a Tony Robbins book, Notes from a Friend. I ripped off the front cover and 2 pages of the inside of the book so I know where I stole it. Listen to this. Many years ago, a young man wanted to be a famous musician, so he quit school and went out on the road. Getting a job was a pretty tough gig for a high school dropout with no experience. He found himself playing piano and singing in some of the seediest bars around town, giving his heart and his soul to people who were so drunk they didn't even notice that he was in the room. Can you imagine the frustration and the humiliation he must have felt? He was depressed. He was emotionally destroyed. He had no money, so he slept in laundromats. The only thing that kept him going was the love of his girlfriend, a woman he knew was the most beautiful on earth. And one day, she left him too. And he felt that his life was over, so he decided to commit suicide. But before he committed the act, he tried to get some help by checking himself into a mental hospital. And in that hospital, his life changed, not because he was cured, but because it scared him to see how bad life could really be. He realized that he had no problems, and that day he promised himself that he would never, ever, ever allow himself to get that down again. He would work as hard as he had to, for as long as he had to become finally the successful musician that he knew he could be. No person, no disappointment was worth committing suicide over. Life is worth living, and there's always something to be grateful for. So he kept at it. The rewards didn't come at first, but eventually they did. In fact, today his music is known all over the world, for it is the story of Billy Joel. Now, who would have known? Who would have known? We think we have tough times when we lose a deal. Give me a break. You know? Seriously. All the superstars I know, everybody, they do this thing called self-talk. They smile. Everybody smile right now. Just smile. Smile. Doesn't that feel better? It just feels better. They listen to music. They listen to books. Some of you guys saw me outside. I mean, I have been listening. I just crank myself full of music and upbeat stuff because it's a choice that I can make. They wear clothes. They realize if they change, everything will change for them. Ever hear of affirmations? Anybody here? I stole these affirmations 30 years ago. 30 years ago. 1986. 31 years ago. I say them every day, ladies and gentlemen. Every day. I get up. I go in the shower. Get ready. Put on my suit. Before I leave the house, this is what I say. I have an attitude of gratitude. I am always moving forward. I am fit, trim, strong, and healthy. I spend my money and my savings grow. I'm neat. I'm organized. I always look my best. In adversity, I always look for the seed of an equivalent benefit, always being thankful for the lessons I'm learning. Self-confidence is evident in my walk, my posture, my smile, everything I do. I like people, people like me. I have attractive physical features and a trim, healthy body. Money flows freely and successfully into my life. I could go, you put a gun to my head, I could write, and I should after 30 years. Now, let me give you a challenge. If you don't have affirmations, you should steal these from me. Because as far as I'm concerned, they're mine now. I've had them for 30 years. Read a book recently called Mind Power. I don't read a lot. I don't have a lot of time to read, but I do. I read the book, and then I highlight the sentences that are really important to me. Here's what this book said. Always visualize your goal as if it's actually happening to you right now. Make it real in your life. Make it detailed. Enter the role, become it in your mind. Always seed with the feeling that you have the thing that you want, that you've already achieved it. And here's the greatest statement in the world. You cannot think both negative and positive thoughts at the same time. You cannot. One or the other must dominate. Go buy the book Think and Grow Rich. Go buy the book Mind Power. Go buy the book The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. One of the hardest decisions that you'll ever face in life is choosing whether to walk away or try harder. Walk away or try harder. At 22, my father died. My grandfather died. I went bankrupt at 28. Prostate cancer at 50. I give you also, I smoke 5 packs of cigarettes a day. I should be dead. When my son turned 6 years old, I asked my son, he's 36 now. I said, Dustin, what do you want for your birthday? He was going to school at the time, thank God. He looked me in the eye, he goes, Daddy, I want you to quit smoking that bad habit. I thought, you gotta be bullshitting me. 5 packs a day. I was obsessive. Look at, I'm gonna tell you something. It's all about belief in yourself. I want you to watch this 2-minute video. Some of you may have seen it, but you haven't. Just listen to the words and watch it. Hey guys, I'm not smart enough to do it myself.
You ain't gonna believe this. But you used to fit right here. I'd hold you up and say to your mother, this kid's gonna be the best kid in the world. This kid's gonna be somebody better than anybody ever knew. and you grew up good and wonderful. It was great just watching you every day. It was like a privilege. Then the time come for you to be your own man and take on the world, and you did. But somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. I'm always gonna love you no matter what. No matter what happens. You're my son, you're my blood. You're the best thing in my life. But until you start believing in yourself, you ain't gonna have a life. Don't forget to visit your mother.
Hey, you know, just you gotta believe in yourself, right? I never saw a Rocky movie until I found that video clip. I still haven't seen a Rocky movie, but I've watched that a lot. The third strategy that I wrote down is real estate is a business. And my friends, you better understand, you're in a business. You're in a business, a for-profit business. You got it? For profit. For the last 20 years, I've kept my expenses under 20% because I want to make some money and I want to save some money. I save 20% of my gross income every year, 20% of gross every year. Right now, my business is I do $100-something million a year with a business. It's within probably 10 kilometers of my office. 99% is all past customers, repeat customers, or referrals. I don't even want any new people. It's been such a long time that since I've done an open house, I forgot what it was like. And it's a great feeling. But it's no accident. That was my plan. And you've got to have a plan. You've got to know, how much money do you want to make, friends? How much money do you want to make? What's your average sales price? How much do you make per deal? How much do you want to make for the year? What's your plan for the year, for the month, for the week, for the day? How are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? This is my actual day timer I carry with me, friends. I have lists of people that are going to be my buyers in here. I have lists of people that are going to be my sellers. I have lists of deals. I can tell you how much the pending escrows are going to be if I sell these people houses. The people that you can't really see at all, but the things that are stuck in orange, those are things I've accomplished already. But I look at this every day. It's my Bible. I take it every place with me. Every place. Because you never know. You never know. I got a list. This is a little piece of paper. This has 2017, it's the data 2017. These are all people that I know will buy a house right now. If you're on this list, you got a problem. Because if I find the right thing, you will buy it. That's just the way it is. You know, we have there's a lot of things in the real estate business, friends, that you can do. But you got to do something, right? You got to do something. If you wake up in the morning and say, I want to make this money, but you say, I don't want to do open houses. I don't want to go to office meetings. I don't want to go to conferences. I don't want to take any training. I don't want to knock on doors. I don't want to write thank you notes. I don't want to do listings. I don't want to talk to any buyers. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I'll do this. You know what you're going to get paid this year? This is it. This is it. I get paid. I do a lot of things I don't want to do, friends. But I make a lot more money than this. Look at, you guys got other problems. You got auctions, don't you? You got auctions. Watch this. This is what I know about auctions. Show that 45-second. Watch this. This is great.
Seuraava kohde on Min dynastian aikainen vaasi. Lähtöhinta 500 000. Olkaa hyvä, tehkää tarjouksia. 600 000 siellä herra. 700 000 puhelimessa. 800 000 rouva. 900 000 puhelimessa. 1 000 000 siellä herra. Tuleeko muita tarjouksia? Ei tule. 1 000 000 ensimmäinen. 1 000 000 toinen. 1 000 000 kolmas.
You know, so you can have problems with auctions too. Here's some basics. If you got a business plan, write it down. Be specific, make it accountable. You've got to be accountable. You've got to be accountable. Ask yourself, how much profit do you want? How much do you want for retirement? What do you want for savings? These are basic questions. I don't know your market, friends, ladies and gentlemen. I just don't know it. But I know my market, and I know what I want, and I know what my why is, and I got it all written down. And it seems to have worked over the last 40-something years. And sometimes you get kicked in the teeth, and sometimes it don't work. And sometimes you get up, wait, we got a saying in America, sometimes you're the bug, and sometimes you're the windshield. A lot of times I'm the bug. Hey, look at it. You got 7 days in a week, right? Someday is not one of them. So if you're going to start something, start it now. But you better figure out what are you going to do? What do you want to do? What do you feel comfortable with? And then you got to do it. Because if you do nothing, you'll have nothing. You'll have nothing. I didn't like open houses, but it was cheap and it was easy and I met people. And today I don't have to do it anymore. I got 22 people in my office. 22 people. They're just agents. I try to mentor them a little bit. That's all that's in it. I mean, they don't work for, they don't work for me. They're agents. Every Monday morning, I sit them down. We have a meeting every Monday morning. And I go around the table and I say, well, what did you guys do? Well, I did all these open houses. Did you meet anybody? Oh, yeah. Did you do this? Did you do that? I hear this line every Monday. You know what I finally told them? Here's the deal. In the real estate business, you either got numbers or a story. And I've heard all the stories. You got it? You got numbers or a story. What did Matt say about that young kid, Josh, that went out there and knocked on doors in the rain? That was worth knocking on doors, don't you think? I did the math real fast. That's not too bad. But at least he went out and he did it. Now, if he keeps doing that for the next 5 years, he might not ever have to go knock on another door again. Does that make sense? But friends, this is a business. It never ceases to amaze me. Number of people that call me up, and I'm sure they call you up, and they say, hey, Bob, listen, I just got to tell you, we are just so excited about the real estate business. We think that we want to be a realtor just like you. We just want to be a realtor just like you. They see the car, they see the suit, they see the stuff like that. We want to be a realtor. And I'll look them in the eye and I'll say, gosh, well, what makes you think you're going to be so successful? They go, oh, God, Bob, we love people. And we love houses. You know what I tell them? That's really great. In 6 months, you will hate them both. You will hate them both. I wrote 10 thoughts. I stole them from somebody 20 years ago at AREC, from a guy by the name of Bob Boland. They're now my thoughts. Let me give you 10 thoughts about having a business. Number 1, start every day at 0. Number 2, structure an ideal day. Number 3, ABC, always be in control. Number 4, understand that this is a mental business, Number 5, eliminate negativity. Eliminate negativity from your life. Number 6, raise the bar. If you want to go from 50 to 100 or 100 to 200 or 700 to a million, doesn't matter, raise the bar. I try to raise my bar 20% every year. I mean, you got to ask yourself, how much is enough? Now I just do it because it's a sport. It's a sport. I think to myself, how fast can I move the money from his pocket to my pocket and make him feel good? You know? I tell my agents in the office, just drive safely, don't hurt them, wear them out, they'll buy. But you gotta drive safe. Number 7, eliminate negativity. You're right, that was the same as number 5. Number 8, have a business plan. Number 9, just do it. Number 10, shadow a great agent. Find the people. You heard Scott talk about that. Find the people that are doing what it is that you want to do and copy them. Copy them. And lastly, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Number 4, You've got to adapt an attitude of dollar productive behavior. Dollar productive behavior. What is a dollar productive behavior? That is buyers that can buy and sellers that want to sell. Some of you, how many here have an overpriced listing right now that will never sell this year? Anybody? Raise your hands high besides me. So there's only 4 of us in this whole room? I don't believe it. Well, let me tell you, if you don't want to raise your hands, that's okay. But I'll tell you what, after this session or tomorrow, whenever AREC's over, you need to call up these sellers and have what we call a come to Jesus meeting with them. Because if their house ain't gonna sell, you need to tell them it ain't gonna sell, or the buyer is being conceived as we speak. You know, I mean, that's just the way it is. Let me share with you some dollar productive activities. And these are just things that I've done in my life. You can do what you want, but look at number 1, look the part, act the part, become the part. Number 2, smile. Number 3, dress for success. Number 5, pass out 5 business cards a day, 5 days a week. If you pass out 5 business cards 5 days a week, that will be 100 per month or 1,200 a year. Now, let me ask you a question. If you pass out 1,200 business cards in the next 12 months, would your business change? Yes or no? It would change in spite of you. If you wrote 5 thank you notes, that's 1,200 a year. That's 2,400. Just think if you wrapped it up and you gave out 10 business cards a day. 10 business cards. This is the great one. Return your phone calls. How about this? Answer the phone. Answer the phone. I walk through my office. I see somebody's cell phone laying on the desk. The agent's sitting right there. The phone's ringing. The phone's ringing. I said, Andre, are you going to answer that? They'll leave a voicemail. I said, what are you doing? They're calling you. I don't need to talk to them. If your phone rings, answer it. It's a new concept. Call 3 past customers a day. Call 3 people on your sphere of influence per day. Do an open house every day. I did an open house every day for 1 year. I mean, when I say every day for 1 year, I am not exaggerating. Every day for 1 year. Christmas, New Year's, Hanukkah, Mother's Day. Every day for 1 year. I have sold a $440,000 house on Christmas Day. That is a Merry Christmas. Learn scripts and dialogues. Sing when some people have a birthday, pick up the phone, call them, sing them happy birthday. I sing all my clients and customers happy birthday. I sing like it's terrible, but they remember me. Send them anniversary cards. Work with tenants. Shadow again a great agent. Wear a name tag. If you got more business than you know what to do with, then screw the name tag idea. But if you don't have as much business and as much money as you want, wear a name tag. Wear a name tag. Leave your business card everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. I'll give you a couple basics. These are a couple true stories. 2 weeks ago, I wrote an offer on a property. I've been in the business 43 years, right? So you talk about basics, you talk about dollar productive behavior. Wrote an offer on a property. Multiple offers, I lose it. 1.3 million. I lose it. Go out, there's 8 units in this block. They're all about $1.4 million, $1.3 million to $1.4 million. I write a letter. I find out who owns the 8 units, who doesn't live in them. I write those people a letter. This just happens, like 2 weeks ago. Write them a letter, I hear nothing, nothing. I thought, oh crap, let's write them another letter. I send another letter. Lady calls me out of the blue. Lady calls me, says, hey Bob, I got your letter. I think I'd like to sell my house. I sold her house for $1.4 million to the guy I showed it to. Boom, done. I made $35,000. Rick Rushton's son works for me. I told him I'm looking for a condo in this particular area. He goes knocking on doors last week, finds a seller. We now have an offer going back and forth on $630,000 deal. That's $15,000. 3 months ago, I competed for somebody else on a listing, a $2.5 million listing. And the guy, Phil, is a good agent. He's a successful agent. But he's got a really, really bad habit. He doesn't wear socks. And the client was an 82-year-old woman. 82 years old. Now, let me tell you, if she saw, and Phil came in with a pair of jeans, it was so great. I didn't have to do anything except get dressed. Phil goes in, go with a pair of jeans, Tommy Bahama shirt, pair of slip-ons, no socks, no socks. There's $120,000 in commissions. So I go in, have a soup, boom, I get the listing. Piece of cake, done. She goes to sell another one of her houses, $3.3 million. I list that about 3 weeks ago. Now here's the bad part. 2 weeks ago, she died. But she had a great trustee. We sold the house the next day for $2.4 million. It was a home run. And by the time I leave AREC, the other house will be sold for $3.3 million. I added it up. Just in the last 2 weeks from doing what I'm supposed to do, I made $185,000. I mean, no, that's something to clap about, but shit, it's just the basics. All I did was write a letter. It cost me $1.04 to send 2 letters. And I made $35,000. Now, how sad is that? I mean, seriously. I got to tell you something, friends. It ain't a hard business. It is not a hard business. But you got to work a little bit. And you got to think. And you think after 43 years, I would say, who wants to write a letter? Let me tell you, I'm 64. I'm going to do that letter thing for the next 10 years. Because the letter thing works. Knocking on doors works. Showing up, looking the part, acting the part. It works. Phil doesn't even know why he didn't get the listings. But I love it. I know every time I compete with him, that's how he's going to go. It's absolutely great, and he's too good a realtor. What a dumb thing. I'm going to go over. Where's John? Tell John I'm going over. Number 5, never forget to say thank you. Never, ever, ever forget to say thank you. You are in a people business. You're in a people business. I would tell you that one of the greatest things that I've ever done is I've learned how to write a thank you note. And I write thank you notes to everybody. I even keep a list, friends. I keep a list. I found, I've been doing this. I found the list that I had in 2007, my thank you note list from 10 years ago, where I make a list of who I send it to, what's their address, and did I complete it, yes or no. Who do you write a thank you note to? You write a thank you note to absolutely anybody you come in contact with. You might write a thank you note to John McGraw. You might write a thank you note to the audiovisual people. You might write a thank you note to the people that made a difference. What's wrong with writing a thank you note to Matt and Melita and all your other speakers? Now, I'm telling you about it, and I'll bet you $1 million no one's going to do it. But what a difference. What a difference it makes. You send a thank you note to everybody. I do a couple things. I try not to spend any money. I am like the cheapest realtor that you'll ever hear. But I do a couple things every year. And one is I have a Christmas party. I have a Christmas party for 22 couples. I rent out a restaurant in the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. Cost me anywhere for the 22 couples, probably between $20,000 and $25,000 for the one night. I hire Santa Claus. I have Christmas carolers. I let them drink anything they want. I buy them Christmas presents. I do everything. They have an incredible Christmas party 3 days before Christmas. I've done this for 5 years now. I make at least $500,000 a year from that Christmas party. And I have a great time, and I write it all off. I just closed literally in the last 2 weeks. One of my clients, he's bought 19 properties from me. I just made $50,000 from him in the last 2 weeks. Put it in the bank. He'll be paying for the next Christmas party. Second tier of people that I do business with, they all get a beautiful floral arrangement at Christmas. I spend about $125 a piece. Floral arrangement is literally delivered about December 19th. Has to last for 2 weeks into the first of the year. It has to be at least 3.5, 4 feet high. It has to be spectacular because I buy about 25 of them at a fair amount of money. I do all hand delivered. If you have a floral arrangement like that, hand delivered, what do the recipients have to do? They have to call you and they have to say thank you. And then every time somebody walks in their house during the Christmas season, somebody sees a spectacular bouquet and they said, "Where did you get that?" Our realtor, Bob Wolff. What a great thing. I don't buy closing gifts, friends. Let me tell you something. So a lot of you have, we call them solicitors, we call them lawyers. You have lawyers, you have CPAs, you have doctors. Well, you got to ask yourself, when was the last time you got a Christmas present from your lawyer or from your gynecologist? When was the last time they sent you a Christmas present? You'll be successful. You don't have to send gifts to everybody. Do a great job. Do what you say you're going to do, when you said you were going to do it, and how you said you were going to do it. That's what makes you money. And that's what they remember. This is the greatest story in the world I'm about to tell you. I'm getting married. I'm getting married September 8th. Now, I'm getting married at the Ritz-Carlton. There's going to be 150 people there. It's going to be expensive. Expensive. And the other day, I had this incredible brainstorm. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, because I had to get ready to write him a check for $30,000. So I went to Jenny. I said, Jenny, I got to ask you a favor. I said, I don't want to offend you. I said, would you mind if I call our wedding a summer party? Because I can write off a summer party. And if I'm going to spend $30,000 or $50,000, I want the tax break. She said it was cool. I wrote a check, $28,000, 2017, summer party. Heck, they're all the people I know, and she knows, and we know. It'll be a great time. And the government's going to pay for it. You know, you just got to think a little bit. Never, ever, ever forget the power of words. Watch this video. Hey, guys, help me.
What did you do to my sign?
I wrote the saying, but in different words.
Thanks, love.
Number six. Yeah, the power of words. Number six. Never, ever, ever, ever forget the basics. My entire real estate career has been predicated, my friends, on the basics. You know, the bottom line, we're in the service business. And, you know, we just got to be the best. We just got to be the best. But what are the basics? The basics are sometimes talking to people. I'm talking about talking to people. I use what did Melita say? She calls her sellers 3 times a week. I use 9,000 to 12,000 minutes a month on my cell phone. 9,000 to 12,000 minutes. You know, in this day, let me tell you, in this day, you know, everybody wants to, it's high tech. They want to email, they want to tweet, they want to be LinkedIn, they want to be on Bookface. They want to do all this stuff. What happens with just talking to people? I tell my office all the time, hey, Lori, I need you to call Sam. I need this, this, and this. 10 minutes later, hey, Lori, did you call Sam? No, I texted him. I didn't ask you to text him. I'm 64 years old. Do you think I know the difference between a text and a phone call? Talk to people. Talk to people. I don't know how else to tell you that. I got 5,000 friends on Bookface. I've never been on it. I've never been on it. The other day, I came back from a trip. I go to my email. I have like 400 emails. 400 emails. I'm sitting at the computer thinking, this is such a pain. And I hit a couple keys, and all of a sudden, they're all gone. I thought, this is so hot. And they never came back. I thought, you know, if these people want to talk to me, what will they do? They'll call me. Texting. You guys have voice texting? You know, on the telephone, you know, you talk to your phone, it'll text it out. Watch it. Watch it always. I was listing a house for $6.8 million. The wife was a divorced wife of an incredible baseball player, a guy by the name of Randy Johnson. And I'm talking to his wife. I go to the house on a Sunday afternoon. I know I'm competing with people. So I leave the house. I take it in there. $6.8 million. I'm driving down the street. I'm texting her. Hey, Nancy, this is Bob Wolff. Just want to say, really, really appreciate you spending the time with me today. I really, really look forward to being able to work with you on the marketing about your house, and I'm really, really, really enthused about it. Can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. Sincerely, Bob Wolff. 10 minutes later, I happen to be driving through some place where the traffic was slow. I read my text. I almost drove off the road. Dear Nancy, just wanted to say thank you so very, very much for allowing me to come by your home. I'm so, I can't wait to be able to work with you. I am absolutely confused about the sale of your house. Confused. $6.8 million, $350,000 in commissions. I'm not confused. Just watch it is all I can tell you. Watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it. Here's some basic lessons I've learned in the last 43 years. Number one, you want the marketplace to change, you change. Number two, you want the marketplace to get better, you get better. Don't worry about all the things you can't control. Don't worry about the weather, and don't worry about interest rates. Next, if you follow up, you'll be a hero. Always under promise, over deliver. Take 100% responsibility for your actions. Stay focused. Be willing to pay the price for success. Become an expert in your field. Never give up. Write out a plan for achieving your goals. Lead by example. Understand, being the best begins by expecting to be the best. Friends, I picked something up the other day, actually 9 years ago. It's called An Excerpt from Customer Love. The 10 most important words in the world. I apologize for our mistake. Let me make it right. The 9 most important words in the world. Thank you for your business. Please come back again. The 8 most important words in the world. I'm not sure, but I'll find out. The 7, what else can I do for you? The 6, what is most convenient for you? The 5 most important words. How may I serve you? The 4 most important words. How did we do? The 3 most important words. We're glad we're here. The 2 most important words, what do you think they are? Thank you. And the 1 most important word in the world is yes. Yes. Let me share with you 10 things that require 0 talent and 0 money. Number 1, be on time. Number 2, have a work ethic. Number 3, display some effort. Number 3, have great body language. Number 4, have great body language. Number 5, have energy. Have energy. Don't be comatose. I'm sure I go into some people's houses. They probably want to pick up the phone and dial 911 and say, he is here. But at least I'm alive. I remember when I was visiting this little 82-year-old woman's house. She had COPD. She was on oxygen. And she was sitting in this one chair. And I went to her house and I moved a little stool. She was 82 years old. She looked like she was dying right in front of me. I pulled the stool, sat down. She goes, put that back. I go, whoa, set me back. Thank God I was wearing socks. 6, have a great attitude. Number 7, have passion. Number 8, be coachable. Number 9, do something extra. Number 10, be prepared. Be prepared. 10 things. No money, no talent. I work for a company. I work for Harcourts. They got 13,000 people, 11 countries. They have 4 basic values. You know what they are? People first. Do the right thing. Be courageous. And have a little fun and laughter along the way. You think there might be some sophisticated set of values. They couldn't get any more basic. They couldn't get any more basic. Friends, this is all about the basics. Period, period, period. Number 7, time management skills. I'm not going to tell you a whole lot about time management. I will tell you this. You know what the absolutely best time management day in your life is? You know what it is? It's the day before you go on vacation. It's the day before you come to AREC. It's the day before you got to leave. That's the best time management day in the world. Now you got to ask yourself a question. Can you imagine if you could work like that 3 days a week or 4 days a week? You want to get busy? Go buy an airplane ticket. You want to get busy? Plan a family vacation. You want things to screw up your life? Plan the weekend with your son, Melita. That'll screw things up. I've been there. I've been there. Here's a couple thoughts with respect to time management. Number 1, do a little a lot. Instead of going to try to see 50 people a day, which you're going to get tired of after a while, what if you just went to go see 10 people a day for 5 days? Do a little a lot. Number 2, 20 seconds of courage. I learned that from Gilbert Onaka. He was the mental coach for the All Blacks. 20 seconds of courage. Every day when you got to do that one thing you don't want to do it. Do it. It's hard. The speakers this morning, you get 10 phone calls, you go back to the office. Sure, you want to make 9 of the easiest. But I've learned over time, make that first one first. Because if you don't, they're going to call you back. A 20-mile march starts with one step at a time. It doesn't matter if you want to be the best realtor, the best mom, the best dad, the best boyfriend, the best girlfriend, the best spouse. It doesn't matter. It starts with one step at a time. It's not going to happen overnight. Number 4, I wrote down, do the right thing. Number 5, have a daily accomplishment list. Here's a great technique with respect to time management. Get up 1 hour earlier a day. I got up this morning at 4:30. I got up yesterday morning at like 4:20. Some of you don't even know there's 2 4:30s in one day. There are 2 of them. You know, if you go to bed 1 hour later every day, or get up 1 hour earlier, or divide them, at the end of the year, you give yourself 6.5 40-hour work weeks. 6.5 40-hour work weeks. Now, some of you are going to say, oh, get my calculator, got to figure this out. You don't have to figure it out. I've figured it out. Just get up an hour earlier. You know, you need time. That's all we got is time. I forget which who it was. We got 168 hours in the week. That's all we got. Here's 10 thoughts on time management. Number 1, order your food and the check at the same time. Number 2, schedule time off. Number 3, have one list, not several lists. Number 4, use a headset. Headsets are great. You can pretend you're talking. You see somebody come in your office, you don't want to talk to them, or you know they're Mr. or Mrs. Negative. Just start talking. I do it all the time. And you know, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to wear one of them out, but they will leave. They will leave. Wear that headset. It's the best time management thing in the world. Number 5, avoid negative people and people that waste your time. Number 6, throw things away. Number 7, use 20 seconds of courage. Number 8, learn to say no. Someone said that this morning. Learn to say no. No. Everybody say no. 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 Feel your heart. It's still working. Delegate and trust others. Delegate and trust others and do the most difficult tasks first. I'm going to tell you something. I have a tough time delegating. I'm not going to lie to you because I have a philosophy. If I ask you to do something and then I got to worry about one of us, we ain't necessary. One of us is not necessary if I got to worry about it, right? You know what Harvey McKay said? He said, you know what day is the best day to fire somebody? The first day you think about it. So it absolutely goes downhill. 8th strategy, last strategy. Always remember balance in the game of life. Always remember balance in the game of life. Hey, this has got to be like the subject that I know the least about. And it is my toughest battle because you know something, I love what I do. I love what I do. I'm not going to have a heart attack doing this because I love it. What do they say? Find something and do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. You know, hey, I got to tell you, you know, but at 64 years old, I will tell you that your world changes. Your world changes. When I was 28 and I filed bankruptcy, I made a commitment to myself. And the commitment was that I would never, ever, ever be in that position again. Never. And I never will be now. Never. You know, it's kind of fun when you go to get on an airplane, you turn left. I hate turning right. I turn right now just to wave at my friends. Turn left. It's a better deal. You know, I made a list. I thought to myself, at 64, what are the things that are really important to me now? Because, you know, at 64, if you look at life on a pyramid, there's a good chance I'm not going to live to be 128 years old. Really good chance. So I'm kind of on the downward slide, wouldn't you say? But here's what I wrote down. The greatest parts of my week now are talking to my 36-year-old son, talking to my mom, talking to one of my 5 brothers, having a cigar with a good friend, David Knox, time with Jenny, Sunday Mass and going out to dinner with friends, flying my plane, riding my motorcycle, driving my Ferrari. I got a Bentley I've had for 2 years. It has 364 miles on it. That is sick. That is sick, and it is a good car. But the other day, I went to pick up some friends to take them to church, and I also have a white Lexus, and I have a white Bentley. And I pull the people up, and this is a very, 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 very prominent lawyer. And I pick him and his wife to take them to Mass. They get in the car, and I'm in the Lexus, and he says to me, God, this Bentley's really nice. And I thought, you gotta be kidding me. So the Bentley goes. What do I look forward to in my life? I look forward to family, friends, quiet time. I look forward to Christmas. I'm so excited about Christmas coming up. Jenny and I are flying over to Christchurch for 3 days to go to a Christmas party. What a hot thing to do. And I ain't flying coach, I promise you that. I think about retirement. I can't wait to get, I'm gonna be 65 years old. I'm gonna get my first Social Security check, $2,500 every month for the rest of my life. The government has to pay me. And I'm gonna take it. Every month, every month. I told you I was getting married September 8th. I'm looking forward. I'm going on a group honeymoon. I'm September 10th, 4 couples, Jenny and I and 3 other couples. We're gonna fly over to Greece, and then we're gonna go to Venice, and then we're gonna catch the Orient Express and go to London. A group honeymoon, ain't that exciting? What a kick in the butt. I've never done that before. Do great work, be grateful, never give up, love what you do, surround yourself with incredible people, have fun and laughter in your life, stay hungry. You can do it better, innovate in your life, and inspire. I'm going to share with you something I picked up 2010, 7 years ago. It's called The Secret of Life. A 7-year-old boy approached an old man in front of a wishing well, looked up into his eyes and asked, I understand you're a very wise man. I'd like to know the secret of life. The old man looked down at the youngster and replied, I've thought a lot about that in my lifetime, and the secret can be summed up in 4 words. The first is to think. Think about the values you want to live your life by. The second is to believe. Believe in yourself based on the thinking you've done about the values that you're going to live your life by. The third is to dream. Dream about the things that can be based on your belief in yourself and the values that you're going to live your life by. And the fourth is to dare. Dare to make your dreams become reality based on your belief in yourself and in your values. And with that, Walt Disney said to the little boy, think, believe, dream, and dare. Let's watch that one video. Watch this. This is a video of I just saw it a couple of days ago. I just want you to listen to it. It's about Steve Jobs.
The only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking and don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. Sometimes life's going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. You've got to find what you love. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path. And that will make all the difference. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary.
You know, what a wise man. What a wise man. So we're doing good. I'm only going to be a few minutes late. So here we are. Pretty well done. We've talked a little bit about life, talked a little bit about real estate. We know that you better find your why. We know that you need to place the bet on yourself, have a plan, have a focus, be accountable, have discipline. We know that you have to believe in yourself. We know that real estate is a business, that there's basics, there's thank yous. We know that there's no secrets. Friends, I haven't shared one thing with you that you have never heard before. Now, I might have said it in a little bit different way, but everything I've said, you've heard before. There's no surprises, there's no shortcuts, no secret. You need the plan, you need the belief system. Will Rogers probably said it best. He said that going to church every Sunday would no more make you a Christian than sleeping in the garage would make you a Chevrolet. Think about that. You know, I said in the beginning, and I believe this conference, AREC, can be a life-changing event for you. You need to listen to the speakers. You need to have something. You're not going to take everything away. But you know, if I had the good fortune to be able to just add a little bit of a value, maybe make a little bit of a difference, then I win. I win today. I win big time. But you got to understand that it's totally, totally up to you. And sometimes you can have all the planning in the world and things just don't go right. I'm just about done. I'm going to be done in the next few minutes. I want you to watch this video clip. Because here's a man that planned and planned and planned, and sometimes it just doesn't go right. Hey, guys.
When troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders.
let me leave you with this. Don't ever, ever give up, my friends. Don't give up. And if I can do it, you can do it, okay? So have a fantastic AREC, have an incredible year, have a magnificent life, and God bless you all. Thank you.